Hello class, welcome to Unit 4. I hope all is going well. I hope that you're preparing for the final couple of weeks of the quarter and that you're well aware of what the expectations are and how things are going so far in the quarter. Please make sure you take some time uh, during the week to check your Campus Connect scores. Make sure that the gradebook is up to date with what your expectations are, what you believe your scores are. If you think that there's a discrepancy or something is wrong with that, please don't hesitate to give me a call or send me an email so that I can start looking into it. Everything should be up to date. So if it's not what you anticipate or what you think the score should be, or something's missing, please let me know as soon as possible so we can figure out what we need to do to get you taken care of. As we move forward in Unit 4, what I wanted to do in this week's unit lecture is there's some very good information that's going through Unit 4 as we talk about professional ethics and business ethics, and I wanted to take some time. I'll go over some key things out of the business ethics and professional ethics, and I really wanted to take some time to allow you plenty of time this week to go over the videos that are included, especially the Bernie Madoff and the Enron video that's included. And so I want to be brief in what I do so that you guys have plenty of time to take care of that. But first off, what I wanted to do is go through and just say what the expectations are, make sure that the expectations of Unit 4 are known. Once again, Unit 4, we have the lecture review, then you have your discussion board and your assignment. And for the discussion board, I appreciate you guys taking care of getting the discussion board in on time, and that you're following the instructions, and that you're being positive with those in your class and doing a good job. For the discussion board this week, you need to take a look at the IRS video. Now I've included that link just below the discussion board, as you can see here. Just make sure you take the time, and I'm gonna show a quick clip from that here in a minute. But the video is included, so take the time to review that and include that in your post. The Unit 4B discussion board. That, once again, you have your Unit 4 assignment that needs to be completed and submitted prior to Wednesday evening for peer review. Same way that we did it last time. You just go through, you take your 5 questions that have been given to you this time, and this is more of a 2-paragraph. You probably ought to answer each one of these questions with about 2 paragraphs, and then just let me know who reviewed it. But make sure you take the time to review the videos and put as much detail into this as this assignment. This is a really good unit. So take the time to learn and grow and gain a better understanding of business ethics and professional ethics as you go through Unit 4. Really quickly, I just wanted to show you a quick clip from the IRS video.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please be seated. Let the record indicate that the witness did answer in the affirmative. Ms. Lerner, put up slide 1, please. In October 2010, you told a Duke University group, and I quote, "The Supreme Court dealt a huge blow, overturning a 100-year-old precedent that basically corporations couldn't give directly to political campaigns. And everyone is up in arms because they don't like it. The Federal Election Commission can't do anything about it. They want the IRS to fix the problem." Ms. Lerner, what exactly wanted to fix the problem caused by Citizens United? What exactly does that mean?
Here you go.
Would you please turn the mic on?
My counsel has advised me that I have not waived my constitutional rights under the Fifth Amendment, and on his advice, I will decline to answer any question on the subject matter of this hearing.
So you're not going to tell us who wanted to fix the problem caused by Citizens United?
On the advice of my counsel, I respectfully exercise my Fifth Amendment right and decline to answer that question.
So that's what you're going to be using for part of your assignment and for your unit Unit 4 discussion board. So take some time, gain a better understanding. That I've included the full link, the 14-minute deposition. If you just click on this, you'll get a smaller version of it. But I thought it was important for you to get as much information out of this as you could. And you got to look at this a couple of ways. If you look at it as professional ethics, what is our obligation? But then you also look at it and think, okay, there's a constitutional right to have a Fifth Amendment that you don't have to incriminate yourself. And so what we're looking at here is what's right, what's wrong. And that's what you're going to be weighing in on this discussion and trying to gain a better understanding of what happened here. Okay, so that's what the expectations are out of Unit 4. Make sure you have some fun with this assignment because there's some really good information and it applies to your professional careers, and if you turn into business, then it applies to your business careers. So, and they're very tightly intertwined. So, really good information. I did want to take some time and look at chapter or Unit 5, because in Unit 5 you have your Unit 5 final project assignment, and I want you to begin looking at this early and start preparing for this as you move forward. Remember that your Unit 4 assignment you have to have included in the discussion board B by Wednesday. So you should be working ahead anyhow, but I would start working ahead on your Unit 5 assignment as well. At least become familiar with what the expectations are. So if you go to your Unit 5 content page and you come down and look at the assignment, you have the link of the course detail or the course project detail. I have that up here. Please remember that this assignment is worth 200 points. And so your objective here is to select an ethical topic, and I've provided you with several ethical topics to choose from, and you'll need to do research, including some outside entities or some outside resources to come up with your argument. And what you're really going to do is you're going to take one of these topics, and we'll just look at the first one. Walmart is good for America, the pro and the con. You're going to give pros and cons, and then you're going to take a side. You're going to form an opinion, and then you're going to defend your position. And that's really the basis here. There's no right and wrong. This is you come up with your ideas of the pros and the cons, and then you establish a side, or you form an opinion and you defend your position. That's what I'm after on this assignment. As you come down here, you're going to be looking at the steps. The first part is you've got to create a paper, 1,200 to 2,000 words, and just remember that 1,200 words is the minimum. So you wanna make sure that you're not hitting that minimum. That gives you the expectations of a C letter grade. If you want more than that, you're going to have to do a little bit more than just 1,200 words. And take advantage of that, and the amount of points on this is extremely high, and so there's a lot to lose if you don't put forth the effort. Like I said, folks, this is not a right or wrong assignment. This is form an opinion and defend your position. And as long as you do that and you do it within the requirements of the word count, you'll do fine on it. But if you just put it in at 1,200 pages or 1,200 words and put an abstract in there that's two lines and you're not very well formed on your APA citations or your APA layout, you'll want to make sure that you follow that and have a well-written assignment, because that will come into the factor of grading. Then the other part of this is that you either need to create a PowerPoint presentation or a video that you discuss your assignment. Now, I don't expect that you take your paper and read it word for word. I expect that you either create a PowerPoint presentation that discusses your assignment, or you put together a video that you discuss your findings. And it should be something that you have fun with. And just follow the instructions that are here, and you should do well. But I really wanted to make sure that you understood that it was worth 200 points and that you had a good understanding of what the expectations were for the assignment. So work hard on that and have some fun with it. Okay, what I wanted to do is go over really quickly some of the ethical standards that are talked about in professional ethics. And the bottom line that we're looking at here is when we start talking about professional ethics, it's really looking at the line of work that an individual is in and making sure that you understand maybe it's the code of conduct, maybe there are some standards, ethical standards that are established within your professional career, and that's what we're looking at in identifying and establishing the professional ethics. And sometimes we look at it and we think, okay, doctors are held to a standard. Law enforcement, I'm held to a higher standard. And it's not necessarily a business ethic or business ethics standards, it's professional ethics. And these are things that are expected of me in my field. These are ideas and concepts that are expected of doctors, lawyers, all of those, nurses, most areas have some sort of professional ethics or professional standards that the individuals in those work environments are held to those standards. And so if you look at the back end of your text, it provides a list of basic ethical principles or obligations of all professionals. And I don't need to read those for you, but this is really what professionals are held to, and it's really as we start looking into the next chapter and we start looking at business ethics, businesses are established and put and in business to make money, but sometimes the line between just there to make money becomes skewed, and ethical standards and professionalism take a turn. I believe during Unit 1 or 2, I started talking about things that are ethical, things that are professional, things that are illegal, and we start to cross those lines, and sometimes we get to the point where we drop our ethical standards, which is wrong. We drop our ethical standards in an effort to make more money or bring more money into the organization or make ourselves look better, and that's really what ends up happening with the ethical standards that we're talking about here. And it's not always about making money; it's doing the right things and serving others. So just take a look at those. Put the best interests of clients ahead of your self-interest to serve and protect the community. We talked about that a little bit last week. To maintain personal dedication to quality and excellence, and that's really what it comes down to when we're not putting money at the forefront of everything. So have some fun with that. Next, I wanted to go over a few things out of the business ethics. A lot of what we start looking at in the business ethics really started coming out in the late 1990s and early 2000s with large organizations, large corporations that had falsified their financial or their income statements or financial statements in order to make them have a false value, if that makes sense. As you start looking at these companies, what they were doing was they were inflating their profit margins so that it made the stock have more value, in turn creating an inflated value for the organization, and that's really what started to happen. Enron really burst the bubble as far as Ponzi schemes, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. And this gives you a good timeline of what happened with Enron. But the big thing on this was they were just the tip of the iceberg. Well, I shouldn't say tip of the iceberg. They were the largest one at the time to have this happen. As time went on a little further, you started to hear of WorldCom, Tyco, some of the other large corporations, and WorldCom became even larger, an even larger problem. And that's when you started to really see things change with Securities Exchange Commission and the way that things were ran. You even had large accounting organizations that were helping to cover the misleading information for these corporations, and that's really where we started to take or see the problems in the business world. Now, this isn't new. What's new about it is how big of a scale it came down to. We're talking $7 billion in schemes done by WorldCom, and it's just unreal the amount of money that people were were swindled out of, and how many people's lives were affected. Enron, everyone in Enron lost their retirements. They lost everything that they had because people got greedy. So take some time as you're going through this. The last thing I really wanted to hit on is in Unit 4, we have the Bernie Madoff. I've included a couple of extra and additional articles for you to review. But if you go through and you click on the Madoff affair, you're going to be brought to this page. There are places you can go through and you can make it a little bit shorter. What I would recommend, and to get the full extent of what's going on, this is an excellent documentary compiled by Frontline. It is an excellent documentary. Like I said, it is long. You're looking at about 55 minutes. But I would take the time to watch this video and apply it, because it's a great video. So take the time and really put some effort into watching this video and gaining a better understanding of what happened with Enron, and apply it to your assignments. Please have some fun with this unit. A lot of good information. If you have any questions about the Unit 4 assignment, the discussion for Unit 4, or the Unit 5 upcoming assignment, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great week and continue learning and applying these ethical standards that we're talking about. Have a great week.